the X Factor you talked about, mid one. He's a loose cannon, and he needs to pop off this game really hard on this Dragonite. He needs to be able to shut down XM so he can't make rotations around the map. He needs to get to that Blink Dagger fairly early on so he can make some rotations happen on the map.
Absolutely. Get that thing done, get on the line, and make some stuff happen. XM does manage to get down that early ward. Both teams smoked out. It looks like they're going to be avoiding each other relatively fine. I need to turn down my in-game audio because it's way too loud for me. But I think that it's going to be an interesting thing to watch. How much does Team Secret get done early? And then is there for you at least like a limit? That's going to spot where the ward is. Is there going to be a limit for you on terms of how late this game can go? Like, are either teams on a timer really?
Dota is in such a weird spot right now that I almost never want to say that one team has better late game than the other, because it almost feels like whenever you say that, you see something in the late game or you see some neutral item that completely just changes everything, right? So I don't know. It's hard to say. I think supports are generally like the biggest difference maker when it comes to the late game, and both sides have supports that are pretty good at scaling. So
the battle begins.
Hard to say. I think momentum is the bigger thing. Like who gets the lead and who can keep the lead generally will win the games. So I look at early game more so than in the late game, because late game Dota is crazy, man. Anything can happen.
It's true. It does have that feeling nowadays, and I feel like we've seen. I mean, I think back to just TI and Toronto, Tokyo running around with 12,000 HP on a freaking die, and just like, what is this even?
Like, who can predict that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just one or two things can happen in the game, and then all of a sudden the support's a core, or one thing could happen incorrectly, and then all of a sudden you're not scaling. So back to the early game being super important.
Absolutely. Well, let's see how this one goes as we're looking at each of these lanes here. Did see mid one miss one of those last hits, but still getting the XP from it nonetheless. And a thing to watch will be how much pressure can they put onto this silencer. And we talked about Lifestealer being a good answer, but if Brew and Venge just focus on the silencer, Tianming might have a rough time.
They could definitely slow down the silencer's game, but if you want to win this lane, you're going to have to slow down the Lifestealer's game, because this hero, he's really weak at the first few levels. Like, his level 1 isn't really strong, his level 2 isn't particularly strong either, but when this hero does become strong is when he starts getting more points in the feast, more points in that Ghoul Frenzy, and more importantly, he starts getting items online. And if you allow him to get a pretty good early game, or laning stage rather, then he'll start kicking out of the lane and things can get hard. So if they have to sacrifice Xiaoming just a little bit to do that, I think they'd be pretty happy in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, he's a silencer at the end of the day. Fine, surely. You can see some pressure already being mounted there. In the mid lane, XM is starting to also try and do some bullying stuff to mid one, but he messed up the tower aggro and actually took a ton of damage there. No points yet in the phase shift. Really messed up what was looking like a good start to this. And yeah, he's have to actually jump away from there.
Yeah, he's just securing a water rune right there, and it looks like they're gonna go bot.
Puppy down low gets bashed, and the right clicks forward, and that's gonna be first blood taken by XXS. Does have a very fast Chrysalis moving in, but wisely is keeping his distance. A quick turn could blow him up too.
And this was the lane I talked about that needs to go well, and they were doing well, but with that death and that kill going to XXS, all of a sudden now that net worth difference in just CS alone is going to be overtaken by the starter, and starters are going to jump all the way comfortably into first place in net worth in the game. A little scary here, and I think that's what you have to look out for if you're Puppy too. Every time he gets lifted into a slaughter that has primed up 3 bash charges here, I think he might just be dead.
Yeah, there's not much that you can do. I mean, you're good at keeping your distance and sort of keeping people back on Veno, but once you get lifted, once you're suddenly in position, like, you're going to get bodied.
I do like Crystallis's build here, though. He's got the double Wraith Band. He realizes he's playing for Slaughter. He's going to need that extra armor. It's going to make him very difficult to kill in this type of situation. And it was a nice little play by Xinqiu there, just stealing the Lotus as well. Maybe that should have been one of my notes as well to add. I'll add a 4th one later. Lotuses, because at the 3-minute mark, these can be very critical, because if you look at what almost every single player does in this patch right now, is they buy a stick at the beginning of the game. Right. And that stick will just start to continuously get charges. They're going to have a fairy fire on top of it. And then if you get that 3-minute Lotus, sometimes it feels like you can never kill your enemy because they have like some 10 stick available. They got a fairy fire and a Lotus. That's a lot of damage to do. So that can sometimes solidify your ability to just win laning stages just by having that available.
Yeah, it's so strong. And likewise, I feel like, I mean, we're actually going to see Secret come on over and secure both these water rooms.
Yeah, so I mean, that's big.
That's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, XM, he just has no bottle charges, right, on this puck. Yeah. And you secure one of them on mid one here, and then the next one just is stolen away by Yamich. So great rotation, making that 4-minute move here to take that away from him.
Ooh, up there. Puppy is actually on to XXS. Got a Gale off, 2 points in the Poison Sting. He's going to take a lot of damage there. Frustrating to play against, definitely. And showing, at least until the later levels, why this matchup kind of sucks sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. And it'll be a different story if you can get on top of Puppy, but if Puppy is able to get the Gales off, and Puppy just uses Gale, actually trying to find his camps. Meanwhile, Lu is blocking the camp, because Lifestealer is a hero, for sure, that just... You can't really contest if you pull that camp there. You can't really farm it either, because he doesn't have a nuke. He can only just right-click, so he doesn't want Yamich to spam that camp, because they won't be able to contest it. Just Cinder Brew is just too strong with the Thunderclap, and of course, all the Yamich's spells as well to do that. And Lifestealer, he's kind of just a glorified melee creep for the most part. He just right-clicks, can't really do anything else to help out. And so, good job getting the pulls off and blocking, showing some good laning mechanics here from Azure Ray in the top lane. Oh, it's party time mid.
They're making the move over. On to XM, throws out the stun. He doesn't have Fate Shift backup. Oh, XM just gets ran at behind the tower and killed.
And that's not just a death. That's a death to a Dragonite who is level 6 and a Catapult. And they're going to get Jin Q here too.
Whoa, he's trying to get away, but there is not an easy escape from this. So another kill. It is also going to be a rune, only an invis, but I mean, I don't know. We'll see what they decide to do with this. A frustrating turn of events for Azure Ray for sure.
Go back to that 4-minute water rune that already catapults the Dragonite so much in this laning stage. Then that allows him to get that early level 6 before the puck. Now you kill the puck. You get another kill on Jin Q here, and this Dragonite is absolutely massive here. And mid one, he's having the type of game that he needs to have, you know, on bottom lane.
Good damage out. Crystallis not too concerned, it looks like, so he's just going to come back in and farm away. Now, I will also mention, in this time period, Azure Ray are like, they must have a ward somewhere. They've dropped 3 sentry wards around that. One of them just expired. That was over on the south side of the lane. So a lot of gold investment trying to destroy vision that just wasn't there from Secret. This is leading to a 2,000 gold lead 7 minutes in for Secret. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Crystallis has been untouched in this game here. They're able to slow down XSS's game quite a bit here, but the big story is going to be in the big lane. XM, he's incredibly sad this game. This is not the start he wanted to have. He got counterpicked, and on top of getting counterpicked, Yamich is kind of ruining his day, right? Like, he's taking his water runes away, he's ganking him, he's making his lane even harder, and XM is definitely the hero that needs to make stuff happen for Azure Ray, and I don't think he's going to be able to leave his lane here, because if he leaves the lane, oh, see you later, Silencer. Great gameplay.
No chance for a deny, it looks like. Yeah, I mean, it's fair. I mean, I think what you talked about earlier of like the fact that they needed this mid one pick to do a lot for them. At least right now, the game plan appears to be working. Is there anything that you're really worried about for Secret over the next couple of minutes? If there's like gank rotations that come in, does he need to be like, if he dies, is it really, really bad for Secret? Or can he kind of play pretty free right now?
Well, that's exactly what I'm going to be looking out for. Is, I mean, you might get one kill here onto Yamich here, which definitely really needed, but he's not quite dead yet, and he doesn't even get the kill on Puck. Oh, they get the D ward as well, so
that's nice.
A little bit of exchange. But the thing I'm looking out for Secret is it's mid one. Like, he has to be able to stay composed with this lead, not overextend too much, and give away a kill. Because if mid one ever dies, Dragon Knight is a notorious hero for not being able to recover. And speaking of not being able to recover, he has gone an item that helps him not only stay ahead, but try to recover, and that's the Midas. And I actually really like that choice on the Dragon Knight here, because whenever you go this Blink Dagger first, you put yourself in a position where you got to find kills on the map, and if you don't find them, you get under-farmed, because this hero doesn't farm very quickly. But if you buy a Midas, you kind of bypass some of the issues Dragon Knight has. He still inherently has those issues, but it helps a little bit.
Success, getting health, getting the turnaround, the Infest to save him. Can they keep him alive? They will. XXS is going to survive through this. And just like that, they're bringing Boom. More people brought by Azure Ray early in the battle, but since there's no Infest, that's going to put Lul in a bad position. No Rage for 8 seconds means he goes down. In the end, it's a trade 2 for 1, though. I think Azure Ray will be okay with that.
They also get the deny on the mid tower. That was going to die no matter what, so small wins here. I said that's a big win for Azure Ray in the bot lane, small win in the mid lane, so just wins across the board here for Azure Ray, slowly coming back to this game. And we talked about mid one not overextending here.
Oh, dangerous. They have the Corrosive Haze. Can they get there in time and apply enough damage? They're bringing absolutely everybody for this, and they make sure they get the kill. It was Midas bought beforehand. But yeah, a little overextension. It'll happen.
Yeah, and that is the hero that you don't want to lose the most out of all the heroes on the map here. Sure, I'm not saying you die one time is GG, but Azure Ray definitely clawing their way back into this game a bit after having that bad laning stage. Of course, mid one, he did end up buying it, and we're going to see a replay. They're going to try and kill the Slaughter here, but great Infest save. The lift as well, and Crystallis, he just finds himself in a position that he just doesn't want to be in anymore. So great counter rotation there. They even had to bring down the Brewmaster on Secret just to salvage that situation, right? So overall, just great rotations here from Azure Ray, but Secret, they're still making some good plays. They're showing a lot of signs of life too. This game is really even.
I mean, I like that you're talking about, like, you know, great Infest play. And on its face, it's like, it's Infest. You know, what the hell are you talking about? But at the same time, it's the fact that Lul was already through the gate, recognizing that play was coming and in position to turn a fight around. That's what you want to see from these players, recognizing, like, the strength of what they're trying to do. And getting there right in time. Now, XinQ down bottom, he's going to be in some trouble. They're bringing numbers. Secret managed to find that kill, while XXS is out trying to farm into his Echo Saber.
Boom is really strong right now. He's probably the strongest hero on the map for Secret, with that vessel being completed now with 2 bracers. He's a little slow, but if he hits that vessel on you with the Cinder Brew, he's going to be not only hitting hard, but doing lots of damage through his spells. So they're going to have to watch out what he's doing on the map here, but he is not going for the Radiance build that we sometimes see. And this build, to me, kind of screams a bit more if he wants to be more active on the Brewmaster.
Okay.
And less farming, because Radiance takes a lot more time. And meanwhile, in the mid lane, the gank is happening.
Quick movement in. Mid one in some trouble. They bring numbers again. 4 heroes surround that Dragon Knight, and mid one's going to go down. They do anything to try and turn this? Yes, they will. They get XXS on the swap. Now looking for more. Does have those 2 Spirit Vessel charges. And
he's out.
Looking over for Tianming, not able to get him.
Both teams brought 5 heroes for that play, by the way. And yeah, it was an exchange of a mid for an offlaner here. And if you're looking at just small numbers of like who took the advantage there, then it has to be Azure Ray, right? Because mid one is the most farmed hero, highest level in the game, so he gave away a bit more here, but that was a lot of time invested for both of these teams to just get 1 kill each. And yeah, Boom, yet again, running across the map. They're going for XXS yet again in this bot lane, but without a Blink Dagger available, he's just going to walk his way out of that.
Yeah, that's a hard kill to get. They should be able to take this tower. Dragon Form is about to be back up again. And mid one will start beating into the tower. I'm getting a little bit concerned about Secret's ability, or rather, I'm getting a little bit concerned about Azure Ray's ability to burst through these heroes if they don't have, like, either the Lifestealer or the Slaughter there. Sometimes even both. Like, I feel like they kind of do need to bring max numbers to get these kills.
They definitely need quite a few heroes depending on the kill, right?
Yeah.
Slaughter is definitely a hard kill. Lifestealer is really hard to kill. I guess all the cores are pretty hard to kill from Azure Ray. But the supports, though, they can die pretty easily. And we're just seeing an exchange here of just getting tier 1 towers on both sides. But speaking of Wisdom Runes, those are coming out here in less than 20 seconds. And Puck is already posturing to get one. And Secret, they're probably going to have to do their best to either try and get one as well. And Boom is already in the neighborhood. We'll see who gets which.
Oh, coming in with the Venge. And yeah, XM's just... Oh.
No, he didn't get it. Boom got it. He tried. That was a valiant attempt. Secret was aware of it. They even TP'd heroes back just for that one Wisdom Room. I'd say the first 2 Wisdom Rooms are the most important. After that, I think the priority of them goes down quite a bit. Because, 7 minutes from now, there's going to be more important objectives on the map, such as Roshan will be available, Tormentors. At that point, the small amount, everyone pretty much has the experience they need. It's more of just luxury at that point.
Right. Well, supports are getting fairly farmed, and we're seeing a bygone relic item of the Pavis for Venomancer. So that one being done is pretty interesting against this like mass physical damage. I mean, obviously there's some mixed damage with Puck, but is going like the Witchblade build. So there's a lot of physical damage. It's kind of cool.
No, it's good for sure. It's definitely good this game. And Silencer might not be good though, as he did get just jumped on, and I think he'll die here.
Whoa.
Oh, there's a turnaround though.
They're coming from behind. XM onto 2 of them. They find both Puppy and the Venge both get brought down. So they exchange 2 for 1 there in mass.
But they did bring 5 heroes from Azure Ray to deal with that. Meanwhile, Boom is free farming. Crystallis is sitting in the former triangle. I don't know what to call that place anymore. Farming as well. I guess it's kind of a triangle now if you extend it to, yeah, we can make a triangle to that second ancient camp. We can make it a triangle. It's even bigger triangle. Yeah, he's farming that triangle area now. So even though you lose a couple supports there, you're not getting the most out of it. The one scary thing I will say about this game is this looks like a completely free Lifestealer game, and we're going to see this Lifestealer really picking up in pace when he finishes the Radiance. And he's not far off. He has enough money for the Relic. They're going to try and gank him with the Blink, but he's too fast. He's too fast. And they would have got him if that stun hit, by the way. Swap was available. They had a bunch of slow. Like, he for sure would have died. So the fast fingers on low here, allowing him to get out to safety here. And he would have lost his Relic money, too, if he died there. Dodging a bullet there.
I don't know if mid one quite had vision on him. I think he was able to guess where he was at, but maybe it was like the cursor was just a tiny bit off or something. Regardless, they do throw out another stun. Nothing done there, but the smoke and turnaround is coming in this direction. Rule trying to play it cool, has 10 seconds still left on Rage. As they will find Brew.
Can they kill him?
Boom. He's down low. Does he get the spot off? No. Able to get that lift just at the last second. Now the walk forward from XXS needs to run away, being slowed down like crazy by this Venomancer, but he's getting some separation. Mid one is going to get the kill, but can he get out afterwards? Not so sure. Puck is dead though. Never mind, Chrysalis comes in to clean up. So they make something out of nothing. It looked terrible, and Secret end up finding a couple kills on the return.
They definitely got something, but at the end, that was a 4-for-3 exchange here. Dragon Knight did go down again. These stuns are connecting, I suppose, but they need to be able to get this Lifestealer right away. I feel like these next couple fights are going to be exponentially harder because you're going to play against a Radiance in the next fight. After that, you're going to play versus a Manta. And I talked about how good of a Lifestealer game this is. They're not really slowing him down at all. Slaughter, he's doing what he needs to do. Your only saving grace here is that Slaughter is not having a free game. Puck is also having a bit of a rough one, but after that fight, Secret lost their gold lead. Now on Azure Ray's hands, they're slightly winning the game here. It's nothing that is insurmountable by any means, but I think this is going to be a game where they're going to have to use their swaps. You're going to see in their fight here, you can't really get the swaps off. Well, first off, you're not there, but second of all, if there's a global silence, it's not going to happen, right? And meanwhile, in real life here, Puppy will just feed a little bit, and it's all good. But I think the more important thing is showcasing how that last fight really went here, because they can dictate a lot of what was going to happen.
Right. Well, and again, like you see that rupture land onto the Puck, the silence catches him too. That's not something that you can depend upon. That's where Puppy died. previously, but it is something to sort of watch out for, right? Like, those types of extra cleanup kills are nice for Secret, but they need to not be taking fights in those areas in sort of bad positions. Otherwise, Azure Ray will definitely run away with this one. Something to watch for. Blink done on the puck, queuing up that Lincoln Sphere next, and the blink done on XXS. It feels like it's go time now with the Radiance done.
Oh, looks like Secret wants to go here as they pop the smoke. Oh, counter smoke has been initiated. Both these teams thinking exactly alike here on what they want to do here. Oh, shield run on the puck.
They saw that though.
Yeah.
And blinks away is the call from mid one.
Yeah, XM's smoke popped, and he's like immediately pops his shield rune. Boom. He can't die again. He needs to be able to get his ultimate off.
So be careful. Global is up too. They're going to pop it. Trying to stay alive. Not going to happen.
Mid one blinked in.
Mid one blinked in to try and save him. The swap out just means that Yemich might die too.
I mean, you might be dead anyway.
Gone. Oh, wow. This is really going off the rails. And Azure Ray starting a runaway train here.
That was a pretty big oopsie from mid one. Like, global silence was used, which means he was silenced, right? He has no BKB available. He blinked in towards the end of the silence, trying to stun the Lifestealer, but he's like, oh, I guess I'm still silenced. That's not good. Tries to retreat, but it's already too late. Silent. Okay, Puppy. Looks like you're dead here.
Yeah, he's just gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
And not a punish. I mean, there's nothing that they can really do to stop this.
And things are start to snowball as you do see the Roshan now up for contention. Tormentors are available. If I'm Team Secret right now, I would just do my Tormentor immediately. Yeah. Because if you allow Azure Ray to go back through the gate, push through the top lane, take your Tormentor on top of this Roche, because, like, how are they going to fight into them right now with an Aegis? It seems pretty impossible to me, right? So, like, if they want, wherever they want to walk on the map right now, you're pretty much going to dodge them if you are Team Secret. And I think if you can leave as little objectives on the map as possible for Azure Ray to claim, you can kind of overcome this 5 minutes where the game might be difficult if Azure Ray choose to group up as 5.
Right. You need to be able to push out all these lanes, get farm on your heroes, get to that next set of item timings, and then take the fight at that point, maybe, if the Aegis is gone. Because, like you're talking about, 5k gold lead is not crazy, but, you know, if that accentuates up to like 10k in the next 7 or so minutes, this game's just completely out of hand. And it does look like, for now at least, Azure Ray are not opting to go straight into the Tormentor on the top side, but they are kind of eyeing up the one down here, and it looks like they're going to kind of try and take it with the Slardar. So, easy cleanup, and it will be claimed with just the two of them, it looks like.
Just very slowly, but he will get it with that last bash there. Jin Q will get that shard, now upgrading the telekinesis to use it on allies, which definitely is a useful tool for saving. You know, Secret are just playing the dodge game, right? They're just trying to push out the lanes, realizing at this point in time, they don't particularly want to pick a fight. They just want to make Azure Ray run around the map as much as possible without getting anything. As you can see, Puppy, he's taking what I would say the dangerous farm. And if he's not careful, he's going to see why it's considered the dangerous farm.
Oh, God. Get out of there, buddy. He's dead.
And that's why that's considered the dangerous farm.
Right.
But they're willing to do that because they know if they don't push that lane out, they're not going to see things on the map. And because he died there, that gives mid one confidence to push top. But is he too confident is the question.
Yeah, the TP rotation with the Infest Bomb, and it's okay to lose Puppy, not okay to also lose mid one. Oh, man. This is not the way they wanted this to go. And now Rupture onto Zinku. Chrysalis trying to get something out of this unfortunate situation, and getting that kill is actually pretty nice. But now the coil used, Chrysalis leeched up. If he goes down now too, he's in trouble also. Starts to die, dwindles away, and I mean, they'll get the silencer here, but they have lost so many heroes.
Yeah, and Team Secret, they're falling apart a little bit here. It kind of just feels like they're not sure what to do in these moments. They had the right idea, right? So I guess I can go back to just being a simple mistake here. Puppy dying mid gave a lot of information on what to do. Mid one, he tried pushing his limit just a little too much on that top lane. He's like, oh, you died there? I want to get a couple hits here. And he probably had his finger on his blink button, ready to blink away. But they were just there too quickly with Infest Bomb. Maybe XSS with the blink Infest was just a split second too fast for mid one to predict. And him going down there really hurts. And of course, for me, Crystallis, I made a frustration play. He's like, oh, I see you. I'm just going to use everything. I'm going to kill you. And he does it. But in doing so, overextends himself just a little bit. And he goes down as well.
Well, I will say that we've got some, solid pickups that have come out now from Secret. It doesn't feel like all is lost. Again, it's very tough being down 7,000 gold lead at this point with still a minute and a half left on Aegis. But Puppy got the latent toxicity, so they have a way to deal with BKBs to some extent, kind of now, which is an interesting one. Have the Solar Crest done. Radiance is finished on Boom. They are kind of hitting those couple of item timings. You would have loved to not have the deaths, but it does feel like when this Aegis is down, maybe there's a chance they can do something if they take a fight on good terms. But will that fight be offered to them by Azure Ray? Azure Ray have looked so collected, and they find another pickoff now on Puppy.
Yeah, Puppy's just doing his best to try and push the lanes out. I think this is the life you kind of sign up for as a Venomancer. This isn't a hero that can gank very well or make plays on the map, but what he is really good at is dying and pushing lanes out.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. And, I mean, again, the great equalizer in all of this is going to be high ground eventually. It's not like the easiest one in the world to take for Azure Ray. This is, I mean, you can obviously like rage siege or whatever, but I feel like high ground in general is not what people are tending to go for now. It's find those pickoffs and just keep farming. We'll see if that ends up happening. But Azure Ray also have great pickoff heroes.
Yeah, with just pretty much to touch on our point of going high ground, you still can go high ground, but generally speaking, if you don't do things perfectly, it can instantly take your lead and turn it into a negative thing, right? You could just team wipe, you could die, do some buybacks, and all of a sudden your lead is now neutralized. And that's just something that risk reward isn't worth it for a lot of teams. We've seen some teams be willing to try it. It's just inherently much more difficult than just not going high ground and getting even more farmed than trying taking a fight when you're 20k gold ahead instead of being 6k gold ahead, right? It should be easier. So it just makes a lot more sense to just kind of wait and play the game slowly. Boom is going in.
Oh,
they got the global
to start, but he gets it off. The first time that these fights start where he gets the bruise split off in good time, but the coil and now the turnaround. XXS trying to stand tall and beat away at them, but it is eventually going to be brought down. It comes at the cost of Image. Now throwing out the Gale. They're going to buy back on the bench, trying to get away with Boom, swapping him out, getting away from trouble. So it is in the end XXS for Yamich's buyback. Not terrible for Secret.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Like that fight went ideally, I would say. Even like the Brewmaster got his ultimate off, even though he was initiated on, and he doesn't have his Manta yet. And they're gonna go for triple Manta, by the way, on Secret here. Dragonite has his completed. You have it completed for Crystallis, and of course the Brewmaster being a universal hero, he's gonna opt for that over the Black King Bar to help him get out of silences, which I think is a pretty good choice. So there we go. Once we have those 3 Mantas online, I think Secret are going to kind of nullify the power of the silencer and how he's been so annoying in these earlier fights.
How did Boom get out of that silent? Was he on the Void Brawler stance or something?
Yeah, he had status resistance for sure. Yeah, it did look like a Lotus, but you do get status resistance from that. And yeah, it just didn't last very long as much. I thought he was going to die for sure, but it just didn't last long enough. And as you can see in the clip here, this was the difference maker of making this fight actually somewhat worth it. And of course, Yamich, great decision to buy back here as well. This also was very critical for making this fight worth it.
Yeah, I didn't see that he'd managed to get that Void one off. It's such a strong... So again, with the brewed up multiplayer, it brings you to, what is that, 3.5 times? So that's 70% status resistance, or like 70-80% status resistance.
Yeah, it's a joke. it definitely allows him so he can do things that he just did, right? You just jabate the team and say, oh, we got Brute, get him, use everything, I'm going to global, silence him, and that's what they tried, but they got jabated. And it happens, and it probably won't happen again. Now they're going to look at him and be less committal. I think you can't throw your global if he does manage to get his Cinder Brew off here, and you're going to have to BKB on Crystallis here potentially. Oh, they swapped him.
Okay.
That may have just
good timing getting that off, but the bash comes through nonetheless. Pavis Solar Crest keeping Crystallis alive, but Yamich, he's in trouble. Mid one throws in some illusions to try and slow this down. Still Crystallis in trouble, tries to get out, but the dodge away, survive. Crystallis standing toe-to-toe and bringing him down. He was alive on nothing.
Yeah, hero alone on Puck. Like, he's just sitting there. Like, if Orb would have been up, I had him clicked on. Orb was up in 1 second. That would have killed Crystallis,
man.
but because his team was there, they got the stun off. That Orb wasn't coming out, and then, of course, he just heals from killing him, and he just walks away there. So, very big there. But it's not changing the overall state of the game that much. Maybe mentality-wise, that's big, right? Because if Crystallis does go down there instead of the Puck, you can be a little demoralized, and the lead would go even more into Azure Ray's play. But for now, a little bit of a blessing keeping them in the game here. It's still not an insurmountable lead, but it's by no means an easy game still. I think the starter is going to start showing pretty soon why this hero is so popular, not only in pubs, but apparently at the Kuala Lumpur as well. As Silencer, he's just going to get mopped up here. Don't think they're going to nothing they can do to save him here.
And that also is the sign of another thing that is done. I think that you're right that, like, in terms of gameplay things, there hasn't been a ton that has changed, but this Aghanim Scepter is one thing that changes things a lot. But mentality-wise, it has definitely felt different over the past couple of minutes. Secret have hit their timings. That turnaround with the Drunken Brawler, you got to imagine that they're feeling better now. And a freaking shield wound on this DK is a scary proposition to deal with.
He looks really cool with that shield rune.
Yeah.
Big silver dragon. And yeah, the timing for mid one is now as well. He has Manta, he has Aghanim Scepter. This is what every Dragonite wants, where they want to be on this hero, right? You can continuously push Lades out. These flying dragons that apply your poison slow are so annoying, especially for heroes like Slaughter, where it's going to keep reapplying here. And this is a risky play here from Secret. They're going to go straight into the Roche Pit, but surely you know about this. Infest Bomb on the Slaughter.
Yeah, the scan hits though, so Puppy knows that they're going to be coming out this direction, and he breaks the blink, and now the lift up onto XXS. That is what they needed. Do they decide to fight, or do they want to get out? Never mind. Crystallis just gets exploded. They already have the split used. Oh no, maybe they bit off more than they could chew. Crystallis turns, wants to battle, gets down to the low ground with the Manta, so they can't get any bashes, and now trying to control more, they get the TP out on the Slardar. Rubik trying to create some separation here. They've already used Global. XM now being hunted by Crystallis while the stun goes on to the DK himself. Do they have enough damage here? Slaughter is running back out, but he's a ways away. Trying to kite mid one, trying to keep him under control. They're waiting and trying to buy time for Slaughter, but they know that Secret are low. Will they chase for any more? It looks like it's a bit too hard. Oh, man. That's crazy.
I really like the choice by XXS there. Like, he had two choices from that coming down from the Cyclone. Either I go in this situation and take the fight even though they have Aegis here, or I blink backwards for safety. His choice of being aggressive here allowed him to not only take away that Aegis, but also get him a couple more kills and allowed them to, like, that was a big win for Secret if they just walk out from that. So really have to praise a little bit on XSS being able just manning up there, right? Yeah, two choices, go back or go in a situation with the enemy team that Aegis. He chose to go in, and I think that was 100% the right call.
Well, it looks like we're in a little bit of a standstill pattern for a bit now, at least. I mean, to be fair, Azure, they're actually playing aggressive again. I thought they were going to be playing a little bit differently, but oh man, that Plague Ward just out of vision of the Slardar. Is he going to catch him here? Blinks down. It won't run into mid one, it looks like.
This combination is so old, actually. Just remembered, Slardar Lifestealer, this used to be super popular. Like, back in my day, you know, Slardar Lifestealer, you just blink in, you got the shard now, making it even better with the Slithering Crush, so you press W and it instantly applies Corrosive Haze now. and you don't have to wait for the annoying animation of stunning and then lifting your hands up and throw up the haze. So the Lifestealer can pop out. It's even better than it was before. So it's a really scary thing to deal with here.
Well, Zinq also showing another scary thing to deal with.
Silencer came back for some too. He might die too.
Swapped out and gone. So the two supports get brought down with a slow dragon just walking at them. All right, Fear, we're 33 minutes into this game, a 6,000 gold lead for Azure Ray. But more importantly, we're getting the first looks at these two teams that have changed it up a lot. What are you seeing? What are you liking? Is there anything standing out from you about either of these teams' performances?
I mean, I'm definitely liking how Team Secret is moving on the map in the early game and now getting into the late game. Their mid game seemed a little bit shaky, but okay. XSS is going to be found here, and he's just going to have to retreat.
They have Infest to try and keep him fine, and it looks like they're going to be able to get him out. So you're feeling like Secret is performing up to maybe even above your expectations.
Yeah, I would say maybe maybe not above. I would say they're just showing why the region itself, Europe, all the things they do well right now. And like their laning stage was really good, and their late game decision making is really good. And China is showing like what they've always been good at is when they have a lead, they're good at keeping it too. So both these teams are doing a lot of really cool things right now, and I think Puppy's very good captain in the late game as well, and we're starting to see like the unique things they're doing right now, like the smoke gank. If this connects, this is very creative.
This is awesome. Yeah, absolutely. This is also going to be an Octarine core done, finds the silencer, and when Tianming gets found in this late game scenario, he is just gone. There is no chance to stay alive. So smoke gank connects, and Azure Ray have to back out a bit.
And the reason why that smoke gank was so cool is the fact that Puppy was showing mid, right? Like he always was. And when you show a Venomancer in mid lane, you might think, oh, okay, they're not making a play like that. But they made a play of 4 heroes while Puppy was just kind of like bluffing them, right? Like, yeah, well, we're just farming, don't worry about us. And they made a cool play between the tier 3 and tier 2 tower, wrapped around. Sure, they wanted a hero that more net worth than Silencer, of course, but a kill's a kill at this stage of the game, and it's map control. And you can see even these small kills, supports, maybe they don't matter in the early game, but at this point in the game, any kill matters because the respawn timers are quite long here, and now they have to sit in base. Look, that 4K net worth lead has gone down a lot. It was at 6. Because they can only sit in base.
Did you see how short that stun was with the status resistance up?
Yeah.
Like, before the animation was done, he was no longer stunned, which is kind of insane. And the other thing here is this Octarine. Mid one's going to pop it again. It's a 15-second downtime, 60-second duration, 75-second cooldown. And this is before any other cooldown reduction items come in too. I mean, he's always going to have that dragon form, and these mantas just being spammed constantly.
Yep, and this is what Secret's winning this game off right now, is the ability to just annoy their opponents, and they realize that, and Exo says he's going to go in.
Jump in, 3 people caught with the crush. Can they find any more? Boom, he gets that split off, but mid one up on the high ground continues to beat into the rest of them. Lul turned upon, beat down. Do they have enough damage to kill him off? He's taking down Chrysalis, though, quite drastically. Needs to run out on that Bloodseeker. Does manage to get some separation. Boom, in some trouble now, too. Tries to get away. They just don't have enough damage. Yeah, you can hit me from on high ground, but it's only tickling. They don't have enough Midas armor on the side of Secret to deal these tanky heroes on Azure Ray.
Yeah, if you do get initiation, so what Secret was doing so well early on was, getting pickoffs, pushing the lanes out with this Octarine. This Octarine core on the Dragonite isn't particularly good for fighting. It's just good at continuously putting these illusions out on the map, being annoying, spamming them over and over again. And if you do get a situation where you can get a beautiful initiation like that by XSS, then the fights are going to probably be Azure Rays every single day. And I will say the difference maker for that fight was the BKB on the Lifestealer. He needed that extra magic, it's not immunity anymore, debuff immunity, we'll call it, in that fight to be able to just get it off. He pops his rage, gets the debuff immunity running there with a full 9 seconds, got off that second rage, and now all of a sudden this Lifestealer, which was just impossible to kill in that fight. And if they were able to bring him down in that fight, it could have been different. They all end him, but with that much debuff immunity, they just can't really deal with him. So now it's going to be another situation where I think you go back to the drawing board for Team Secret. Try to do the split push game again. Puppy's doing it really well on his Venomancer. Mid-one's doing a great job getting the lanes out. But in straight 5v5s, if the initiation is there from Azure Ray, they're probably going to take the fights.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can see that change in the graph still sitting comfortably in Azure Ray's favor. It was starting to fall apart. I mean, I'm seeing also the decision making. It's pretty interesting by mid one. Has the spell prism now, so the Elder Dragon form has 6 seconds downtime when he's not going to have it. Which again, it's more of the same stuff, which is really hard to deal with. But I do kind of wonder, will they have enough damage?
I mean, he's going full meme build. Yeah, like he's committing to the dragon spamming out, and it does one thing really well at this point, and it's pushing lanes. It's with this build, you're no longer a threat though to kill heroes. He does no damage,
Right.
But his illusions are always going to be on the map.
And what about the Bloodseeker Aghanims? How good is that in this game?
Oh, well, we'll hold up on that.
On to Lul. Pops the global, as a matter of fact. Okay.
I think that's an item you just always want on Bloodseeker. It's just value. It gives you a shield and more DPS. Like, what's not to like about that, right? So
no, for sure.
It just picks it up because I think it's just one of the better items for the hero, just to function. So it's a good pickup. I am a little worried about his item progression, though. I don't feel like he has enough items to really make a significant impact on killing the enemy heroes here. And that's like the problem with the lineup right now, Team Secret. They're lacking one thing right now, and it's damage. They don't have a lot of it. Mid one's build, not really a lot of damage. Maybe the Bloodthorn will help with that later on, but doesn't do a lot. Brewmaster, he's like a slow damage type of hero as well. And of course, you do have damage on Crystallis here, and the supports don't do a lot of damage either. So it's going to be very difficult until they get a couple more key items. I think Crystallis at some point is going to need an Abyssal Blade. He's going for the Blink first, and he needs some way to lock down these BKBs.
Absolutely. Needs to make it happen. Now, in the meantime, they swap out one. That keeps Puppy alive. Damage, though, is going to pay the price. He did have Aghanim Scepter. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe they got something here. They pull him back in closer. Lul starts to drop down low and getting beaten away, but also the Bloodseeker, the stun comes through. They take down one.
He's dead.
The Coil Snap is there. Chrysalis is gone. Mid one, again, he's only tickling. They have AC done on XXX.
It's a tickle monster.
But wait a minute. He got the amplified damage on himself. Tries to back away. Mid one, getting some separation. XM chasing, and Boom is taking care of the supports, but mid one is really in a bad way now. Needs to get out of there. Does not have an escape. That is 3 dead. And Aegis is going to be able to go the way of Azure Ray. Oh, man.
The problem you're having here is, like, Lifestealer is full committing on Avenge with Ags, right?
Yeah.
He used everything to kill this Ags. He used his Rage. Then he gets swapped in, and then he just walks away. You have zero control to deal with this Lifestealer. And that's partly because the Lifestealer pick was just so great when it came out in the draft, which is a good Lifestealer game. It's not like it was a first pick Lifestealer, right? Oh, okay. Okay.
No. Oh my god, they're actually not going to be able to take it down quick enough. All right, so he manted and got stomped. That's what happened there.
Yeah. You know, mistakes happen.
Listen,
Even pro players make big mistakes. It should make everyone feel a little better about themselves about the silly mistakes you make in your games.
oh,
Yeah, he used Manta, and then Armlet toggled off, and I think Roche stomped him, and then he just died.
That's awesome. Well,
It's awesome for Secret, because that's a big kill.
Although, Boom. Oh, that's
Puck has the
wanna
talents.
see.
Okay.
Yeah. Dreamcoil pierces debuff immunity, also has the Aghanims. Wait, Chrysalis shows up now onto XS. So they're trying to take the fight with Lifestealer dead, but
The real
still
carry's
not
here.
quite working. Tries to back out. Zinkyu is in trouble, although maybe they can get away, getting some separation out. Stun onto Chrysalis, but no, it's going to be Zinkyu dying. XM now also trying to step away. That is just such a weird series of events that have happened.
XM's turning into an actual carry for this team. Going for the Aghanim Scepter. That used to be a talent, but that's now just the Aghanims, allowing you to rapid fire, I think it was called before. I don't know what it's called anymore. But you're allowed to attack them while they're coiled with the Ags, and then he went the Mjolnir. So now all of a sudden, you're just taking tons of damage if you're ever stuck in that coil there, doing a lot of physical DPS there. And that was a fight without their Lifestealer. This is a hero that has just been a huge terror on this game, and they're still finding signs of life and being able to fight without him. I guess 20,000 gold lead will do that for you, but when 35,000 of that net worth is your dead Lifestealer and you're still winning fights, that's not good news if you're a Secret fan, that's for sure.
No, it's a really bad situation for them at this point, and it doesn't really feel like there's much that's changing that's going to make it better. Like, even sort of these things that we've been seeing that have been kind of cool, right? Like Brewmaster sending out Manta illusions with the Radiance, and the illusions of the Dragon Knight coming out. Now they have a Dagon on both Silencer and Rubik to one-shot those illusions. So even like the cool stuff that you had working, it's not going to work anymore.
I mean, that's pretty cool, actually, what they're doing with the Dagons to deal with these.
Yeah.
Oh no, but the problem is these Dagon cooldown, if we just look at them. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Nice try. They can't get them. He's got a... You don't have a way to, like, get everything you need, right? So, like, the Orchid can block the Lincolns, and you can get the stun on the puck, right? But without that Bloodthorn damage, you're not killing the puck, right? So, yeah, that Lincolns is doing a lot of work there.
It is crazy that this puck has just about 3,000 HP right now, with, like, a lot of damage items.
Yeah, so these illusions are coming out every 19.8 seconds. And the Dagons are on a 35-second cooldown, so it is an answer for sure, but you can't deal with all the illusions. Oh!
Ooh, good blink back. Trying to get away. Lifestealer chasing. Meanwhile, though, mid one found the backlines. I think that he bit off more than he could chew, though. There's a lot of heroes over here, as meanwhile, the south side battle is going on. Trying to take down mid one. Xingqiu and Boom right on top of him, while XM finds another kill.
Xingqiu is either really tanky,
but does go down eventually.
I can't tell if Xingqiu is just really tanky or mid one does no damage.
Yeah, a little column B. The Fade Bolt, like, actually wrecks him.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely good, for sure. And he's actually pretty farmed on the Rubik, too. He does have, like, Vessel, Lotus Orb, Dagon, Force Staff. Yeah, he's pretty much 6-slotted in, like, these smaller items. So he is tanky. But yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything, I suppose.
Oh, now he's got the freaking Arcane Rune. Now it's on a 46-second cooldown for Elder Dragon form.
And we got the top lane.
Oh, God.
Ooh, I was just about to talk about Brewmaster's level 25 talent. Cinder Brew applies Fear when ignited, which is quite annoying.
They have Tian Ming. They get that kill, too. I mean, it's really just been the supports that are dying. Secret's damage is just not there yet.
Yeah, killing cores is really difficult for Secret, but if they can kill these supports and then isolate a core, they might have enough damage there. And I think Crystallis is going to be a big factor of their damage soon. And maybe when he finishes the Swift Blink, that'll help. Oh, no. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, what do you do against this puck right now if you're a support as well? Like, I think supports in this game aren't having the best time. They're priority number one on both sides here.
Well, and as much as we talk about, you know, Venomancer having this percentage-based damage and all the rest of it, it really does not feel like Puppey is scaling in the same way that these other heroes are. Even Venge feels like it's doing more scaling because of the power of the repositioning, more so than this Venom, you know? Like, he can break a Blink Dagger, sure, but after the Blink Dagger's broken, XXS still just runs you down. And now, mid, like, you can see how quickly things could just fall apart. If Lul and XXS are on one hero, they're going to get destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, I think Secret knew that going into the game with the Venomancer, that they need to deal with the starter in the laning stage, because if you don't deal with the starter in the laning stage, then it's just hard to play the game, right? But the downside is you do have to pick some of these unconventional heroes to deal with Slaughter, and this is why Slaughter is so popular. You don't really want to be a Venomancer in Dota right now. Like, the hero itself isn't very strong, but they're kind of forced into playing it because the enemy team took Slaughter, and I feel like it did what it wanted to and needed to do in this game. So I don't think he's too sad about that, but it's late game Dota
Everything
now.
else.
Yeah, pretty much. It's late game Dota now. Like, at this point in the game, 5,000 things have happened to get you to where you are in the game right now, and look, you're dead again to some puck in 2 hits. And that's just kind of what you signed up for by playing late game Dota as a Venomancer.
Right. That's fair. Well, we'll see what the next couple of minutes bring about. Rubik is just upgrading his take on Zinc.
Oh, I like it. I like this a lot because if you look at the spell stealer, right, it gives you just amp and range, and you can just like spam it from distance over and over again.
Yeah.
So like 26% spell amp on top of the timeless relic that gives you another 15. That all goes on top of your Dagon, right? So that Dagon is just shredding.
Oh my God. Yeah, he's going to do an insane amount of damage. That's kind of sick. Oh man, please just steal Blood Rage. Dude, what if he steals Blood Rage too? Gets the extra 30% spell amplification on top of it?
I'm down.
That sounds sick.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That would be really cool.
Well, it does look like we have a little bit of a disconnect now. Azure Ray needing to get themselves set back up. We're going to take a look at now what's going on as team taking a second to sit back and get things set up there. In the midst of one of these games, if you're down like a crazy amount of gold and stuff as secret, how sad are you at this pause? Is there a lot of talking going on?
I think you have to say something, but I don't think you should say too much, right?
Okay.
There's oftentimes when there's a pause, you're losing the game, where you want to hyper analyze like everything that's going on, then you unpause the game, you just instantly lose, right? And then all that stuff you talked about that could have worked in theory can be a bit damaging because like it's all hypotheticals, right? You're still down a lot. I think you're just kind of chilling. I think it's okay to be like, here's our game plan, let's do this one and some pause, and then I think you can just shut up and just wait. You know, sometimes it's okay to just not do anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's usually, just generically speaking, the best thing to do when you're losing a game, right? I don't think it should be looked as a negative thing, like you're ruining the mood or something. Sometimes when you're losing, it's okay to just be quiet for a little bit, and then when things pick up, you can also pick up too. As long as you don't see the negative space not being used as a negative thing, it's totally fine.
Right. No, absolutely. And it does look like right now we've got 9 out of 10 players back in the lobby. It's only Xingqiu that we're waiting on to get the game back underway yet again. This is also always, I mean, this is a little behind the scenes stuff, but it's always interesting in these moments because you like, I think these games are probably being played in the hotel that the players are currently in too. So it's like they're going to see each other in a couple of minutes, no matter the outcome of what happens in this game. But let's get back into it. The game is underway yet again, 22-36, 48 minutes into this one. And Azure Ray getting set to start thinking about this high ground push.
I mean, at this point in the game, you have that additional talent, right, of 1.5 rage duration on Lifestealer. You can just slow siege this. Yeah, just keep hitting it. You also have the Lotus Orb available. Oh, they got the Rupture and the Fear. Maybe the swap's coming out.
That's dangerous. Got to be careful with his positioning.
There it is.
They swap him in and he's gone. Okay. That's not what he was hoping for.
Yeah, he infested.
He gets the infest and gets away. Lul just survives. Now the coil out with already both supports dead, and now Boom also in the grave. Azure Ray. Oh man, they are in a really good spot. Now swapping mid one in because he stole swap on Xingqiu. What a gamer. Unbelievable. Mid one now is going to get beaten down to death, and this is probably going to be about curtains.
Remember what I said when you pause the game, you're losing, and you talk, and you instantly lose afterwards? I feel like that happens every single time. I feel like whenever there's a pause and you're losing the game, you just instantly lose after the pause.
Oh, God. And Chrysalis gets caught now, too. The swap to keep him alive, though, does mean that Yamich is still going to end up dying, and his illusion goes down just afterwards. Now, they do have the Veno ulti on him, but I don't know if it's going to matter. Wait a minute. XM, though, starts to drop. He went in too far. Okay, hold on. Are they throwing, or are they just going to finish it? Looks like they're just running right in to end this one off. Mid one in trouble. They pop back on
over.
XM. that is going to be GG. Azure Ray, take it. And look pretty freaking good as they got to the end of the game there.
I mean, secret